Yeah, hello. I'm just gonna do a little presentation. Edgar Cayce's Christmas is just a collection of readings, Edgar Cayce readings. For time never was when there was not a Christ and not a Christ Mass. The love of the Father to the children of men is manifested in that spirit of Christmas, Christ Mass. Consider the object of Christmas, the purpose for which the Christ came into the earth. First, that the level of man's consciousness might be such that he, man, would be as aware of God as of himself. Second, as in each of his promises to man, that love might abound, that there would be a continued communion with God through the Son, who offered himself as a means of man's approach to the Father. The love of the Father to the children of men is manifested in that spirit of Christmas, Christ Mass, that which may now be raised into that consciousness, that level above man's way of thought, man's concept of force, power, or might, and that the real strength, the real hope, the real contribution is in that still small voice within. No one can destroy the soul but self. No one but self. God had not willed that any soul should perish, but have given even his Son, that brought even into the world that spirit of Christmas. Let the Lord's ways be thy ways, and the Christmas joy fill thy heart. Let patience, love, and mercy be thy watchwords. Practice them in thy daily life. For in so doing, you bring into thy experience all the joy, all the expectancy, all the anticipation of a closer walk with him, which is indeed the Christ Mass Spirit. For the Lord have called thee to service, and will direct thee, if you will keep his ways. For the Christ consciousness arouses thy consciousness to a greater and greater service to others. Let that love, as is manifested at this season in the Christmas spirit, be the light to thy feet and the guiding way to thy desires in the Lord. Let that love, that beauty, as was the message to the shepherds, be thine today. Unto thee is born, yea, unto thee, each one here is given a knowledge and understanding of the life of the Christ that will renew thy life, thy purposes, if you will but sing that new song, love one another. In his name, then, may the blessings of the Father in the Christ be upon thee and thy efforts to point the way to the child, Jesus, who in his humbleness, who in his glory made himself as man, that men might know the love of God to the sons of men that seek to know his ways. Amen. He has not willed that any soul should perish, but has allowed each, even as the Christ child, to be born as a babe and to thus have a new opportunity. This has made the act of motherhood, that act of babes being born into the earth, as a special indication of God's love. Please explain the experience he had regarding the marvelous light tones of individuals merging with the whole, ending with a babe at mother's breast. As may easily surmised, how God in his mercy, in his glory, makes himself known to his creatures in the earth. As there is the analyzing of the Christ life, Christ consciousness, one realizes and finds that the Christ child was born into the earth as man, one born in due season, in due time, in man's spiritual evolution, that man might have a pattern of the personality and the individuality of God himself. As the individuals in such a group read, analyze, study, and apply those tenets, those truths that were presented by the Christ, they find that the Christ consciousness must become an individual and yet a living thing within their own individual consciousness. Let that mind be within thee as was in the Christ, that gave himself that others might know God. Do thou likewise. Come, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, who is thy salvation. Come, keep thy promises as ye hope that he will keep his promises to thee. Let not doubt, nor fear enter, but trust in the Lord. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.